Over the last few years, I've got kind of used to talking to people about taking small salaries and a dividend from their own limited companies. But it strikes me that sometimes we take for granted that people actually understand what we mean by dividends. And I thought it'd be quite useful this week just to have a closer look. Now, there are a number of ways you can take money out of a company. Obviously, you can take salaries, you can take rent if the company rents premises from you. You pay loans, interest, or you can take dividends. Now, dividends broadly come in two varieties. Interim dividends are approved by the board of directors and for tax purposes are generally treated as taxed when they're paid. And final dividends are approved by the shareholders. Now, this is important when it comes to putting together the documentation. So, what are the main characteristics of a dividend? Well, it's a payment to the shareholders, the owners of the company, which may well be you. It's a return on your investment in the company. It's paid out of profits after tax. And generally it's paid in cash, but not necessarily. It could be credited to a director's loan account. Now, the big problem with most small limited companies is that the directors are generally also the shareholders. And you're never quite sure which hat you're wearing at the time. But when it comes down to dividends, it's very important that you know exactly which hat it is at that particular time. Now, HMRC have a particular view on this, and if your dividend looks like salary, they want PAYE. Now, I've seen weekly dividends paid at the same amount all year, and this is exactly the sort of scenario that HMRC will want to attack. So, at the end of the day, you're painting a picture. Now, how complicated or intricate that picture is up to you. But I would recommend the following: that the dividends are paid no more than quarterly, that the amount fluctuates according to profits, doesn't need to be a percentage of profits, but at least go up and down a bit, and prepare the right documentation. So the minutes of the meeting, either shareholders or a board meeting, and prepare dividend vouchers. Now, it is possible to take regular payments either weekly or monthly from your company. And this is done because, in all probability, you have a balance in your company of money that is hopefully owing to you and not owing by you to the company. And this is a loan you've made to the company. So why not take regular repayments? And you're taking regular repayments, which is going to deplete the balance on your account. But then why not top it up periodically with a dividend? But don't forget that you should also be paying a little bit of interest, because the personal savings allowance enables a basic rate taxpayer to receive £1,000 of interest tax-free. Higher rate taxpayers is only £500. Let's look at an example. Now, in this example, I've assumed that at the start of the year, your company owes you £25,000. You withdraw £900 a week, and then once a quarter you take an extra £1,800 just because you think you're worth it. Quarterly there's dividends declared, and these fluctuate a little bit depending on profitability, which means at the year end the balance is £25,000. Here's a graph of your balance with the company, and you can clearly see that the loan balance starts at £25,000, gradually decreases, and then jumps up again as the first dividend is declared. And this pattern continues for the rest of the year, until at the end of the year, the company still owes you £25,000. So I hope this has been a useful run through. Dividends is something that we take for granted, and hopefully this has clarified a few pointers for you. I'm Alan Long from the Long Partnership, making life less taxing.